Hey, I'm Drew, and this is the Drew Petersen Podcast, home to one chairlift ride, a ski pole microphone, and real story at a time. Today's chairlift chat is with Alan Henceroth, the President and Chief Operating Officer of Arapahoe Basin. So naturally, we have a conversation right here on the Pallavicini chair. In many ways, this is also the double chair that was the inspiration for this whole thing. And the conversations that I've had on it have shaped the track of my life. Now, loyal skiers and especially fans of Arapahoe Basin will know that A-Basin has undergone a lot of changes in recent years, from leaving the Epic Pass to going fully independent, joining the Icon Pass, and eventually being sold to Altera. But all those changes have been covered exhaustively by media. So today, I talked with Alan about having a good time, having fun, the soul of skiing, and what makes A-Basin and skiing what it is. Before we drop in, a quick note from this episode's sponsor. You know when you find that ski and everything's dialed and you think to yourself, nothing about this needs changing? Well, that was the QST line from Salomon. But guess what? The QST line got a full redesign this year. No, not because anything needed changing, but because Salomon knew that they could make it even better. They knew that they could make it more playful, more versatile, and more consistent across the board. Personally, I've been skiing the QST 106 for the past 8 years, ever since I joined Salomon. It's been one of my favorite skis, and this redesign made it even better. So if you're thinking about some new skis, click the link in the show notes, the newsletter, or on my website. I know it's an extra step, but clicking that link helps to support me, and it proves the value of this podcast to Salomon, and that makes it so that I can keep doing this whole thing. All right, let's raise the bar, keep your tips up, and drop in. Al, we are skiing A-Basin. We're sitting on Pali, and it finally started snowing, so I guess that's good luck.
Well, let's keep knocking on wood.
Yeah, seriously.
Some snow tonight, maybe some good snow this week.
Oh, I hope so. So you've been here since 1988, working at A-Basin. I was born in 1994, but I've been here ever since, being born and raised on skis right here and basically on the chairlift that raised me. So I think it's fair to say that you and I have both seen a little bit of change happen around these parts. But I want to ask you, amidst all of that change, what has stayed the constant in your entire 38 years at A-Basin?
You know, as we do stuff here, the single biggest thing that we're focused on in everything we do is we want people to feel the same way when they come. We want them to have a great experience, whether they're skiing or riding, or maybe they're here going to a dinner at Black Mountain Lodge, whatever it is. We want them to get that just extra special feel, the culture and the vibe. And whether they're here solo or they're with family or with friends, really connecting with others, we really want to keep that spirit of A-Basin alive.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
And we're doing it. Yeah.
Every day.
I got to tell you, after, growing up here and then bouncing around, living all over the West and coming home, what hasn't changed for me is the mountain. It's still the same, but I think what has proven to me that I'm actually growing up is that the trees are bigger. So like the trees that used to be in the landing of cliffs that you could kind of avoid, you can't avoid them anymore, but it gives me a good excuse to not have to hit the same cliffs that I hit when I was little.
That's no joke, because that's something I notice all the time, and they don't grow very fast, but after a lot of years, it's like, wow, you can't even ski through there anymore. The trees are in the way, and the trees are growing, and it's cool to observe it.
It is. What's maybe surprised you the most in terms of those 38 years of maybe what surprised you the most that hasn't changed, and what surprised you the most that you wouldn't have expected?
Wow. One thing that maybe I'm going to take slightly opposite, that never surprises me, is people's desire to go skiing and have fun. Never underestimate people's desire to go skiing and have fun. Because all you got to do is open some trails, turn on a chairlift, and people want to get out there at any time, no matter what the conditions are. And that's something I really learned and cherished through the years.
No matter the time of year too, right? I think that's always true here with early open, late close.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like how I was born and raised. And this is the chair that shaped me, Pali.
Yeah.
So
I might be biased, but this is my favorite chairlift anywhere. It's less than 7 minutes long, almost 1,400 vertical feet. It's got just the most incredible terrain off it. This lift would take care of you for the rest of your life.
let me get your take on this. When people call Pali the center of the universe, do you agree? And do you also call it the center of the universe?
Yes and yes.
Perfect. Well, a handful of years ago, but a handful could be more because I'm also getting older.
Yeah.
You replaced Pali, but you kept it a double chair, which is an absolute anomaly in the ski resort industry. I got to tell you, after starting a podcast on a chairlift, I have learned that chairlifts are way too fast and there's way too many seats on them.
Yeah.
And you got a fixed grip double right here. Why'd you decide to stick with a double chair?
It was a really hard decision. And the big question was, do we go with the double, or is this when we put in a detachable quad or something over here? And, frankly, I could argue for both positions. It would have made sense in a lot of ways to put in a big lift. But, in the end, we decided to go with the double. It's still a pretty short lift ride. Our most ardent A-Basin fans love this lift. It's their favorite lift. There aren't that many places in skiing where you can just hop on with one person and have a really special ride. It's the terrain over here, it's pretty steep. There's no snowmaking over here. And it can only hold us so many people. It can only have so much capacity, and this lift is the perfect capacity for this location. And it was probably like the other option would be we get a nice, shiny, special, fast lift. People like that. I like that too. But this just really seemed to make sense. It doesn't hurt that a fixed grip lift is less than half the price of a big lift, but we thought this kind of fit the soul of A-Basin a little better.
Well, I agree.
I know you do.
I know. All of us agree. So you got this one right for sure.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean.
Yeah.
That the mountain doesn't change and Pali doesn't.
We didn't do it just for the sake of having a double. We thought it really worked. We just put in a 6-pack over for Lenaway. That made perfect sense over there. But for Pali, this is the only way to go.
What do you think keeps the soul alive? It's easy to say double chairs, but you can answer in the realm of A-Basin or skiing as a whole.
I think, there's two things that keep me connected. And I think it has a lot to do with what's so special about it. And excuse me. One is just the place. And this place, our mountain, is just so stunning, so beautiful. I never get tired of it. I love driving to work, just looking forward to the day and seeing it. And I think that takes place at, most resorts. Most resorts are stunning and in their own way. And so the place is a lot, and we got to take care of the place. And the other part is the people. And when I say that, I'm talking about both our guests and the people that work here, and I think those together, create the culture. And I always get frustrated when people are kind of whiny or negative. But when, you get people together and they're having fun and there's a good spirit going on, I think that's what it's all about. And the place and the atmosphere and all of that at every resort and at ours, it's just a reflection of the people that are here. And that's what I think. I think the people keep the soul alive.
Definitely. That's actually the second half of what I always, tell friends or folks when they ask about A-Basin is like, well, the mountains and the people,
Yeah.
they ain't changing.
Yeah.
They're staying the same. And like, I feel it when I'm here too.
Yeah.
Just the number of people that we just run into or the number of people who still remember, me when I was 15 years old or skiing with you is comical because it's just social hour constantly. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been hanging out for 20 minutes or so, and we've seen 30 or 40 people we knew between us. That's awesome.
What's the secret with that? Whether it be with employees or with guests, you have a way of spreading smiles.
Yeah.
What is that inherently in you?
Well, I think that's very nice of you to say. I'm not sure what it is in me, but I just try to bring a good feel to the place and always try and do my best to figure out ways we can be a little better and people can have a little more fun and enjoy the place and do the best we can with it.
One way that you do connect with people, especially guests, is your blog. Al's blog is again an anomaly in not just the ski resort industry. I would say in the modern attention economy. What makes that fun for you to keep your blog going?
I've been doing it for a while now. I think like 18 years or something like that, and it has proven to be a really incredible way to connect with people. And I mean, literally every single day, someone will come up and start talking to me that's read it. And it's just, for someone like me whose job is to manage a ski resort, it is just a really good way to connect with people. And, there's stuff online. People say good things, people say bad things, whatever. But the human interface that's come as a result that nobody else sees. But I think it gives people a chance to feel a little more connected. I try to write it through my eyes. All those years I've been the one that writes it 99.9% of the time. Sometimes when I'm on vacation, I have someone write it for me. But it's just kind of my take on the day. Sometimes it's really interesting. Sometimes it's okay. But at least I think it might be interesting. It's kind of funny. Some of the ones that I think will be nothing, people really like, and the ones that I spent a lot of time on, people kind of get a meh on. So it's kind of funny how it goes. I never quite know how that's going to fly, but it's just been such a good way to connect with people. Yeah.
Brings it back to people, brings it back to connection, and I think also it keeps it genuine. That goes a really long way. I want to ask you, what's the like simplest thing that you miss here? And I'm gonna go first. Are the payphones? I was really bummed when you took out the payphones because that's how I used to call my mom to come pick me up. So what do you miss?
Oh boy. That's a tough question. What do I miss the most?
It could be watching your kids ski around.
Yeah. I do miss that kind of golden age when the kids were young, and we actually even lived here on site for a few years, and there was a caretaker's apartment we lived in, and that was a wonderful and special time, and they were competitive skiers as they grew up, and it's always, those years were really incredible. We have great years now that they're adults and they have kids, our grandkids and stuff, and we have great times here now, but those years when they were little, that was something special.
Sure was, man. Well, one simple last question, and I'd be surprised if you have a one-word answer, is what's your favorite run?
Well, that's kind of like asking a fisherman his favorite fishing hole, but I got a few for different reasons. I mean, the spine has got to be it all time. I love dropping through the snorkel door and the snorkel nose over on that side of the east wall. And I love skiing the cornice run, especially at sunset.
Agreed on all three, but if I had to choose, I'd go spine to face.
Yeah.
Al, thanks for Thanks for being part of raising me here.
Yeah.
And thanks for a little chat.
Hey, it's been great. Extra special treat to have you around today.
Let's go skiing.
Thanks, Drew.
Thanks to Al for joining me for a chairlift chat right here on Pali. My greatest takeaway from that conversation was that, like he and I both said, it's the mountains and it's the people that keep the soul of skiing, and for me and him, the soul of A-Basin, alive and well. Of course, you can read Al's blog. That's linked in the show notes. You can also check out everything that Arapahoe Basin is up to. You can come skiing here. You can also follow me and the show on Instagram at Drew Peterski. Subscribe wherever you watch or listen to your podcast, and also subscribe on Substack for the weekly newsletter with the podcast. All of that is, of course, linked in the show notes, as well as this episode's sponsor and all the podcast sponsors and any discounts they're offering you as a listener. All right, that's it for this ride. Thanks for listening to the Drew Petersen podcast. Until next run, keep your tips up. Ski and enjoy, my friends.